Hey guys, it's Eagle, and welcome back inside another episode of Technological Journey. In the last episode, we got a lot done. We pretty much completed the entirety of the MV chair and got ourselves the nice green check mark and moved ourselves into HV. So a lot of cool stuff to get done here. We also built ourselves the multi-smelter, which has become, I'm not sure the use for it yet, but it'll be nice for processing large amounts of ore when we need to do so, and among other things. But this is going to be an interesting episode today. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go. I have a couple things here in my clipboard that I want to do. First thing, vacuum freezer, HV macerator, HV energy converter, and then making some Canthal coils. I still have the petrochem down there for when we need to do that at some point. Not super worried about it still, but I think the first thing I'm going to want to do is going to be start processing materials at a little bit better rate. And the first thing we're going to need to do that is going to be the HV macerator. So that's going to be the first machine that we're going to build with our HV circuits that we made. I made up a few more. I think I only have like 6 of them. I need more MV refined assemblies to make more, but other than that, we have a good amount of stuff built. I think in total for the stuff I want to build that I have here on my clipboard, I need 3 for the vacuum freezer. I don't know about the macerator. Let's see about the macerator. Macerator HV will take another 2. Okay, so let's save that recipe. So we have 6, I believe, in our main chest back there. And so I think we should have enough to do both of those things. Let's see what else is needed here. Some electric motors, some electric pistons. Just going to take a lot of gold, which we should have enough to do. Not a big problem. Yeah, not too bad. We might need to make some more stainless steel plates, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started as well. Yeah, we only have 16, so we'll just go ahead and make the rest of these 24 into them. We're going to need to continue to make more of that as we progress. I've been kind of lacking on getting the materials. I've been kind of putting it aside just because I feel like I'm wasting a lot of materials in not getting the most amount of byproducts that I can get. And the HV macerator will be the first step to changing that. So along with that, we also need to get a high voltage transformer. If you saw over here, it's kind of a spaghetti mess right now, and it'll get better once I once I decide to just make it not so annoying. But this wire back here is going into the multi-smelter, and then I have all 4 of these in a line, each providing, well, they're only providing 4 or 1 amp at a time, so I have to see if this is even going to work. I might need to use 4x cables, 4x copper cables to do this, but we're going to put the HV energy transformer, the high voltage transformer, to get, HV or MV in and get HV out to power the macerator. So I might need to make some more copper cables for that as well. So in preparation, let's just go ahead and make ourselves some more copper cable. I did do a little bit of mining. If you see here in my diamond backpack, I do have some more iron, some aluminum, some copper, sphalerite, and some salt, and some just some random things from a couple different mining trips that I went on. So we were running a little bit low on iron, so that's what this is for, and I'm hoping to wait to convert this in the macerator. And the aluminum is what we're going to need to make ourselves some bauxite, which is going to be our first source of titanium here in the beginning of the HV age here. So super cool. So we got to get going on that. Let's go ahead and start by making these cables up. I might need to make myself some more PVC sheets. I think I'm actually out. Made some silver cable to prepare for the HV power that we're going to need at some point. Yeah, we need to make these into plates. I can use the metal bender on this. Just make 32 of them. Luckily, that's nice and quick. So super exciting. This is all going to be kind of working ourselves down this quest book here and getting ourselves into the Rocketry section of this pack. So I'm super excited. So within the next few episodes, hopefully I'll get on the moon for the first time. So that's super exciting. Another thing that I want to work on besides this left side here with the Canthal coils and such, I'm going to have to work on this middle section, do a little bit of chemistry to get ourselves some epoxy resin, and that's going to set us up to make the next tier of circuits. So we're going to probably want to do that sooner rather than later, just from an efficiency standpoint. We'll probably be able to make more, which is going to just take less materials to make more of them. So not too bad. Let's kind of see what we're going to need. So nitrogen dioxide, not too bad. We're actually producing that in the gold line, so I should have a full 64 of that at some point. Let's see, what else are we gonna need? glycerol we're getting from the biodiesel setup and the phenol here. Looks like we can just use hydrochloric acid. I'm currently getting salt, so I can start making some chlorine, and then we can just use the setup in this room to make ourselves some more hydrochloric acid. So we are making some salt, so maybe we should get started on that, actually. Let's wash it. Can I use the ore washer with these? I don't actually know if that works. Interesting that doesn't work. I need more power to wash that, I guess. I can use a centrifuge, but it's 5 seconds per, so we're not even going to worry about that right now, to be honest with you. So we're just going to throw it in this basin here, or this cauldron. Okay. Not too bad. And then now, just like we've done plenty of times, we can electrolyze this into chlorine and sodium, which I'm just going to use the MV1 over here. I'm just having some almandine dust to get me some more oxygen, which we have 1,200 buckets of now, thankfully. So that's not too bad. Cool. So let's start getting some salt, start getting ourselves some chlorine. Very, very nice. You can put the silver wire away. All right. We do have a good amount of silver wire in there already. I guess I just needed to coat it. Not a big deal. Let's start making some more of these sheets into the cluster mill. And we can take ourselves the copper wire. Once we have all that, I don't know how many this is actually going to make, to be honest with you. Looks like just 2 stacks. Okay, well that's not going to last us that long, but it is what it is. We are going to passively start getting some more copper cable now. We'll just let that go. Okay, cool. I guess the first thing, now that we have kind of a direction here, I guess the first thing we want to do is make the transformer. Just to see. We need more copper cable. That's okay. Just to see if I need to put these as 4x cables. Okay, so there's the high voltage transformer. It said energy converter, that's not the right thing. So does it go like this? So this is that's the output, so we want to switch this. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna need, well, I mean, I guess technically it would work, it just may not produce it. 1 HV amp into 4 MV amps. How do I switch it? Does it say? Use soft hammer to invert. Starts as a transform down. Okay, so we need to get a soft hammer, which I think we have a wooden soft mallet in here that we can use somewhere, please. Just using the soft hammer, we should be able to turn this. Boom. Okay. Step up from 4 MV amps to 1 HV amp. Cool. So then now we can actually use our silver cable, and we can have our macerator here and output, input. Cool. I know it's very dirty right now. We're going to hopefully make it a little bit cleaner. I guess I need to start doing some research into the HV diesel generators, just because then I can use this to transform down into these, but it will still only produce 4 amps until we get more actual generators. Okay, so I guess now we gotta work on that macerator. Okay, so we have all that. We need to make an HV machine hull, polyethylene sheets. Do you have any polyethylene anywhere? PVC sheets. Polyethylene. I guess we can put this in a fluid solidifier and get ourselves some more sheets. Should be good for now. All right. Here's our HV machine hole. And it looks like now all we need is tungsten or the diamond grinding head. This isn't too bad to make. What do we need? Diamonds and crushed diamonds. Thought I had some crushed diamonds somewhere. Do I have diamond dust in here? Nope, that's okay. We need to grind some of that out. All right, cool. Let's put this back into the macerator. We should make ourselves some diamond dust. Nice. That's tungsten. We don't need that one. We need the diamond grinding head. And now we just got to make 2 HV motors, which just need some more copper cable. Okay. Running low on copper here. I'm gonna have to start getting some more. Yeah, we don't have any. So we need 4 4Xs, but we actually need 8 4Xs. We have gold cable, stainless steel rods, magnetic steel rods we should have as well. This is running low on power. That's okay. Inventory is starting to become an issue. I'm gonna have to handle that somehow. I might start working on this as well over here. I saw this handy bag. Can hold more items in a backpack depending on the memory card. These can be very useful in mining, and they don't void the excess. Okay, so this might be something I want to try to do. Takes another HV circuit and 4 diamond backpacks. We have 2 of them, but that might be... I might just want to make 4 new ones instead of draining the ones I have. Memory card. Okay, 6B. These also take another HV circuit. Okay, so that might be something I have to do off camera. I don't know if I do not want to use my HV circuits for that right now. So, okay, some 4X. We want to make, let's see, 2 of these motors. I'm going to make this pump, stainless steel gear. And then finally, we have ourselves a macerator. Very, very cool. Plug this thing in and see if it actually gets any power. It is, but I wonder how quickly it's gonna ruin that. So let's just go ahead and put a stack of aluminum in. Okay, well, it looks like it's actually working. That's good. The bauxite is not a 100% chance, unfortunately. We can use this. I think we would need to electrolyze it to get ourselves the rutile. The rutile, I believe, is what we actually need. And the rutile. I think this titanium tetrachloride is going to be important. That's that. For now, your rutile should be coming from your bauxite electrolysis. Later on, you'll be able to mine it on the moon and fully process bauxite via red mud to increase yield. Okay, well, not sure about that one. Does it need? It might need a better chemical reactor for that. Titanium tetrachloride. We need tetraoxide, I believe. Maybe it is tetrachloride. Okay, so it is tetrachloride. And this, yeah, this isn't an HV chemical reactor, so that's going to be important as well. We get carbon monoxide, which I should just be able to electrolyze out. Just get the carbon back. Okay, so chlorine will be the input there. Good thing we're producing some of that. Let's see. And then the titanium tetrachloride. Okay, so the titanium tetrachloride, we need Canthal coils in our blast furnace with magnesium dust. and then at which point we would get ourselves a hot titanium ingot. So this is super cool, but it's not going to be important until we get ourselves the vacuum freezer. But it is nice to be able to process some of these ores. But let's go ahead and get this set up. Let's get it a couple chests so that we can automate it as much as possible. Let's have any more wood in here, do I? Probably should get some. Running low on wood, that's for sure. Okay. Can I turn the better chests directly in here? These are just for all the buses, I assume. Okay. All right, well, let's see. Wooden to wooden. Wood to iron. This is what we're probably going to want to do. Need more iron. Yeah, we're really running low because we're running low on steel too. So I might need to take some time and process all of the... Oh, I made a lot more than I wanted to make. Okay, alrighty then. No big deal. Can I make another hopper? Good thing I made 3 chests. Okay. I'm going to need another chest though. I guess for right now I can just use the hopper. Okay. Auto item outputs. Boom. Oh, I can't use this because it's not going to be able to open. Oh, good. Okay, well that saves me that concern. This aluminum, I believe I need to centrifuge it again so I can get more bauxite from the impure. Well, that's kind of nice. All right, let's find... storage crate. Looks like we're gonna need more wood. I never thought that'd be an issue. I've been using all my wood. All right, then we just need to make a wood casing. So we need a log. There you go, we got a storage crate. And this should be able to hold all the stuff we're gonna need. Bauxite and the aluminum in there. And I guess we'll just go ahead and let this thing process all this stuff here. And probably some magnetite ore as well, because we're running low on that. Might be good to do the vanadium magnetite as well. I'll have to look at the recipe and see what it gets. Okay. Can I put this in a macerator? It'll give me impure and more magnetite. Yes, we're going to want to do that. Not too bad. So this thing can go to work now. I'm creating ourselves a lot of this bauxite. Cool. Alrighty. So that's pretty good. Didn't really do much here for us on the quest book, but that aluminum's nice because we're gonna need a lot of that for the vacuum freezer. And the vacuum freezer, I believe, is also going to take HV power. Let's see. Yeah, so using HV energy hatch. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna have to upgrade our power situation before this is even useful, because these 4 aren't gonna do it. So there's the turbo diesel. Each of them takes an HV circuit. Yeah, I might just have to make like 8 of these because the energy converters aren't too bad, so I can just make a better one of those, I suppose. So it's probably going to turn it, it's probably just going to be a lot of MV diesel generators for the time being. Let's see how the biodiesel production's going. So glycerol's good. Got 2,900 buckets of biodiesel, which should, I think if I did the math among 4 of those, it should last each of them about just close to 4 hours, I think. That number could be outdated now, but it could run 4 8 MV diesel generators for 4 hours straight. So, and they aren't running like that. They're not consuming. I mean, they are, but that's because it's in use right now. But it's only when they're in use, thankfully. Which, if we do things correctly, they should be in use most of the time. So not too bad, not too bad. Let me think here. I think I might need to take a second here and just kind of do some mindless crafting up of the MV diesel generators. Probably going to end up moving these into the basement. They don't really need to be out visible, so I may have a room off to the side here, back here maybe, with all the diesel generators. I do want them kind of close by just because of the power loss, although it shouldn't be an issue if we get enough of them. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, all things go well. The big question is, am I going to have the biodiesel production to actually... Am I going to have the biodiesel production to actually keep this thing up and running? Right now, the only input I have in this setup is the sodium hydroxide dust, which, I mean, I have a lot of it. It's just, I don't have it manually. I don't have it manually doing anything. So, not too bad. It's just kind of annoying right now to have to come down here every now and then and fill this up because it needs the empowered oil and ethanol, which it looks like all we're missing out on is refined canola oil. So the refined canola oil is taking a long time, which we have a good amount, but I think it takes 10 of these in the fluid extractor. Yep. So the way this is set up, it'll get backed up sometimes if it gets the seeds, because we have enough canola oil in here to make a lot, but we're just looking for, we needed an extra seed to go in here to process it. So that is the only hitch in this design. I had a crafter set up where I was just crafting it into everything into the seeds, but it didn't work all that well. So maybe we'll have to play around with that, or if you guys have any suggestions of what I could do, that would be super helpful. So give me a second and I'm going to start crafting up some of those MV diesel generators to upgrade our power, and then hopefully after that we'll be set up to start crafting ourselves the vacuum freezer. Okay, and we are back. We have made a few more diesel generators. I also put a little buffer here for that sodium hydroxide dust, so I crafted up quite a bit of that. That's going in here, and this is still creating a good amount of biodiesel and glycerol. I also made this back room back here. This is where I have the now 8 advanced diesel generators. So I've just been kind of running these with just the 1X copper cables because of the way power works in this pack. It shouldn't be an issue. I also have it running up here to a high voltage transformer that's powering our HV macerator, like I said. I also have a spot dug out here that's going to be where the vacuum freezer is going to go, but I think I'm going to need another transformer, which I have bookmarked now, so it shouldn't be too bad to make. Let's just go ahead and check that out. I think it's very similar to the 1 amp one, but this one's going to be a 16 amp, 16 to 4. I know we only have 8 of these diesel generators, but they're not too bad to craft. I have the materials for it. It just takes some time. But to craft up the high voltage transformer 4 amps, it's very similar to what we had. It's just 2X cables, and we need these small coils as well. These small coils are just fine copper wire and steel bolts. You can use annealed copper wire too. I don't know if I have any copper wire. I do. So it says I need steel bolts. Let's see. Yeah, I need steel bolts. Could have sworn that I had some. I must have crafted them all. I think we can make the bolts in here if I remember correctly in the lathe. No. How do I make the bolts again? It's been a while since I've crafted these. Steel bolts is We can extrude it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's grab ourselves one piece of steel. And we can go extrude ourselves some 8 bolts. Take this away. Bolt shape. There we go. We got ourselves 8 bolts. Very, very nice. All right. So now we can craft ourselves these coils. Only make 2 right now. And then we need MV machine hole. Cool. And then the last thing we need are these cables. So we need 4 of these 2x copper cables. We also need a gold cable. 2 of those bad boys. Oh, there we go. There we go. Then we should have our transformer. Okay, cool. So we can then set this wherever we want the power generation to be. It may have to run up into this wall a little bit because I don't know if you can put, let me check the recipe for it. I don't know if you can put the input hatch on the bottom. It might need to be in the middle. So just because I'm not sure, we're going to do that. We're going to have it set up here. Uh-oh. Is that going to open it up? It is. Oh, good. Okay, so we're going to have to fill, kind of block that in a little bit. I think I can use here. I need to reverse that. I don't have my wrench. Weird how it fits in the wall so well. Grab my wrench out. If I can find it. Where are you, wrench? There you are. Okay. Let's grab some dirt as well. Can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, we're gonna go kind of block this in. Stuff doesn't get destroyed by the rain. Okay, there's the backside. We're also gonna want to flip that around. This would be the inputs. All right, cool. We have to do some digging behind there anyway. All right, so we want the cable's going to come into the back of here, right into here. Okay, so we can run some cable. I think the 1 amp is fine. It just needs a general. It has like a buffer, and then it turns that into it, so you don't have to put 4 amp into it. At least that's kind of what it seems like. Cover this back up. And there we go. This should be the output, which in this scenario will only output 2 amps. It's not going to output the 4. So this should be fine. All right, so I guess we can start crafting up some more cables, and then we can start crafting up the components for the vacuum freezer. All right, so I guess it's time to start crafting ourselves the vacuum freezer. So let's go ahead and get started with that. First thing we're going to do is make the actual vacuum freezer block itself. It looks like we need to make some frost-proof aluminum casing. We're actually going to need some frames, which we can make. I think we're going to need a decent amount of these. Make 16 to start. All right, and then the casings. We need more than 19 of them is what it looked like it said. All right, and there we go. We got ourselves the vacuum freezer main controller block. And it says we need 19 of these casings as well. Let's check the recipe one more time. So it looks like we're gonna need maintenance hatch. So it has an input hatch for fluids. But it has 2 input buses. I don't think it's necessary to have 2 input buses. We're just gonna start with 1, and I'm gonna use LV because I have an extra LV Input. Okay, so that's input. So input bus, output bus, output hatch for fluids, input hatch for fluids. I'm not going to worry about the fluid hatches yet until I know exactly what I'm going to need for them. But let's just see, does it need, like, what does this do? Like, for usage, do I need to have... Looks like I can just put the Canthol that we've been smelting just straight into it. Doesn't look like it needs any kind of fluid. Hot Canthol. Blast furnace. Yeah, and it's just MV. Put it in here. Okay. Not sure what's different about these two recipes. Just a second quicker. I don't know, maybe it's with a different coil. Okay, so we need to make an output. Output bus, we can make the LV tier. Shouldn't be too bad. Gonna make an LV machine hole. Okay. There we go. We have an output bus. We have an input bus that I had made extra here. So we have input output for items. We're going to need an HV energy hatch, I believe. So let's check that. Not too bad. It's probably just going to need a casing. Polyethylene sheets. Okay. That might be an issue. I don't know if I have any of that. Can I melt down ingots anywhere? Polyethylene. Oh, we actually have some. Cool. I was more prepared than I thought. And I gotta say, in the couple clips ago when I was working on the power setup, it took me a lot longer to make the generators than I thought. And I ran into some issues. While I was doing it, I actually ran out of wood in our coke oven setup, so that everything shut down and the buffer of creosote oil went down all over the base. So I had to collect a lot of wood and put this in here and give it a good amount of time. It took way longer than I thought to build up the buffers because there are multiple different creosote ender tanks going all over the base. So it had to fill up all these buffers before this thing got to heat up. And it took a long time because it was, in doing that, I wasn't able to make some of the components I needed because I didn't have any power. So I had to just kind of sit here and wait and let that thing heat up and start producing steam again. So that took a little bit of time. So that happened. I did that yesterday, and today I'm just gonna try to get this as far along as I can. Was not expecting that, but here we are. Okay, so HV energy hatch. Oh, HV machine hole. More stainless steel plates. Am I running low? Really, that low? Okay, well that's kind of annoying. I need to recharge my boots because I'm taking fall damage. 32. While that's making into plates, we're gonna go ahead and run down to the charger, charge up my boots, because hearing that damage sound every time I fly more than 2 blocks, yeah, that's gonna get annoying. That's gonna get annoying. Thankfully, just drop this bad boy in here. There we go, we got our boots back. Very nice. So now we don't have to deal with the fall damage sound every single time. All right. This advanced vending machine's very nice and quick, thankfully. Cool. Maintenance hatch as well. I think it's just an LV machine hole again. Okay, with the energy input hatch. Probably gonna need to make a little bit more of these casings since I'm not using the fluid input hatches yet. I hope that it can work without it. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna need is the maintenance hatch, which is just a LV machine hole. There we go. Okay, so we should be good to go to set this thing up. So let's go ahead and head over to here. I'm just hoping that we're going to have enough power. We're going to have to run down and actually finish the line. We haven't finished it yet, but okay. So we want to have the maintenance hatch in the bottom middle. Then we want to have the actual vacuum freezer block on top. Okay. And then from here, I can use my freedom wrench. Oh. So we have everything. So these are going to be the item inputs and outputs up here on the front. Let's put the input here on the left side. Output on this side. And I think, as far as I know, this is empty. We can just fill the rest in after we do our energy hatch, at least. And we want to rotate this. Of course, my wrench is still stuck in the crafting table. One of these days in between episodes, I will craft myself the electric tools. One of these days. Alright, let's rotate this bad boy. Is that not going to work now? I think that worked. Okay. And now we just need the frostproof. No idea if this is going to work first try. And it looks like it did. Okay, so that is good. So now we just need to grab ourselves some tape, which thankfully I made a good amount of it. Where's it at? It's actually in here already. Cool. Take our tape. Click in there. Very nice. Oh, that's good. It can get a max of 2 HV amps. So now we got to connect up the cables to it. Do I have any copper cables on me? I have 5. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I know I made a bunch and they're in the chest. I'm just don't have it in yet. Okay, so that's probably not going to be... Well, actually... see if that's actually working. May not be able to tell me right away. Okay, so I guess now the only thing left to do is to throw some hot Kanthal in here. It's hot. It's so hot. That was close. I was not expecting that. I need to get a cable running underneath. Not a big deal. Okay, so it needs more energy. That's a problem. I might need to... Yeah, it's not working. So, okay. Well, this should be producing... It's only going to get 1 amp, but it's only going to convert step down. Oh, we need to step it up. Okay. Well, that's our first problem. I'm not even sure how it's... it must not be doing anything. So we need our soft hammer. I do like how that's the default, even though it's for right now. It seems like it's an issue, but... Okay, so now it should be okay. There we go. Okay, so I just needed to step it up instead of step down. Not a problem, not a problem. Throw this back in. All right, and that looks like that is our vacuum freezer done. And it looks like it's pretty quick. Yeah, it's pretty quick. We're gonna definitely want to get a cable run in, and I think I can use... Can I use an item? I have an item filter. I think in the item filter for Ender IO, I believe you might need an advanced one, maybe. You might need an advanced one, but I think I can use like a tag of some kind. Like I can use a tag to only accept hot ingots, and I can just have it go straight from whatever EBF I want, or all of them. And then I can just have anything else go into a chest just like this one is. And it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Is it still making Kanthal, or is this making aluminum now? It's still making Kanthal. Okay. So we should have 2 stacks of Kanthal relatively quickly. I mean, this is pretty quick. This is pretty quick. Very cool. Well, I guess there's nothing left to do other than just let that run. And I can play around with running the cables underneath. Thankfully, we have ourselves a little bit of a basement already, so that shouldn't be too bad. I'll probably clear this out a little bit. I need to continue building out this side. But But one thing I have not talked about really at all, I don't think, is this little area out here. Now the plan, it was kind of just for aesthetics originally, and I haven't finished it yet because I'm not sure exactly how I want to do the design. But it actually works out pretty well because we're going to start getting into the rocketry, and obviously we're going to need a place to launch from, and this seems like a pretty cool spot to do it. I might do some printing up of everything just so it looks a little bit more cohesive with the, you know, the style of everything else. I mean, there's not much of a style, but whatever style we do have. But yeah, this is a place where I could potentially launch our first rocket and head to the moon in, which is going to be not too far away. So very cool. So we've got that completed. Now let's go ahead and just grab out the Canthal. We'll just let this thing finish. Let's look at the quest book. So over here on the right side is where we get into the rocketry section of this age. Super, super cool. If you look at this quest, it kind of tells you that in TJ's official Discord, which if you guys are playing this pack and you want any information on Technological Journey, there are a lot of cool guides and flowcharts for things that you're going to need when you play this pack. And in there is a link to a page where they tell you all about how to set up these rockets. So super, super cool, super useful information. I'm glad that they they gave you a little bit more information than what maybe the quest book could allow. So that's super, super cool. I don't think we're ready for that quite yet. I definitely want to start making, obviously we're going to need rocket fuel first, which I'm going to obviously need that set up before I even begin. So the plan now that we have the Canthal done, I'm not going to go into the coils yet, I don't think. It might be something that I just craft off camera, and I might want to make another EBF with a Canthal coil for the recipes that require it. Just for that, but there we go. We've got our Canthal. Cool. But I think the thing we're going to want to start working on now is getting ourselves epoxy resin. And I've been kind of slowly gathering and doing some looking into what I'm going to need, what kind of chemicals I'm going to need for that. So let's go ahead and check that out here in a second. Okay, so let's check the quest book. So the main thing that we're going to be looking to get here is the epoxy resin. And the epoxy resin is crafted in a chemical reactor, and there's a couple different recipes for it. But there's a recipe that I think I'm going to go for, and it's not the most efficient yet, but that's kind of how this pack works. You kind of start doing it inefficiently until you can get some higher tiered stuff. So this first recipe uses epichlorohydrin and bisphenol A and sodium hydroxide. And at first glance, I look at the epichlorohydrin and the sodium hydroxide, and I think, oh, it's not too bad to make. It's not too bad to make. But the bisphenol A is a little bit more complicated. We need some acetone and phenol, which each acetone and phenol are going to require their own separate like chains of things. So, and it looks like I need benzene to even get there. So that would have required us to have our oil refinery kind of line set up a little bit, which we're going to obviously need to get going here as we get into the rocket fuel and heavy fuel and all that stuff. But if we go back, so this recipe is a little bit out of reach, I'd say, for us right now, but a recipe that I do have access to is down here, where I can use nitrogen dioxide, naphtha, and the epichlorohydrin. So it is not efficient at all. It's a quarter efficient, I believe. A little bit more than a quarter efficient, but that's just how the math works out. So nitrogen dioxide, not bad. We've been producing that in our gold line. Naphtha, we actually produce a good amount of it in our initial oil setup just to play around with it. So we have a good amount of naphtha, and we have a lot of extra oil if I wanted to continue to make more. This is a byproduct from us making the polycaprolactam, by the way, if you don't remember. And the epichlorohydrin is the only thing that we're really going to need to process out here. And this is where that glycerol comes in handy from our canola or from our biodiesel setup. So we can just use in a regular LV chemical reactor, the glycerol and the hydrochloric acid will make us 1 millibucket or 1,000 millibuckets of the epichlorohydrin with a byproduct of water, which we can void. It's not too big of a problem. So this is going to be the recipe that we're going to need. So we need to go ahead and grab our glycerol, and I have a good amount of hydrochloric acid that I've just been kind of backstalling here. We have 64 buckets here. We have the nitrogen dioxide, so we're getting pretty close to all the things that we need. But let's go ahead and clear out the inventory a little bit. Let's get rid of this. I know this isn't super nice, but we just got to get this going. And also, we're getting very close to getting ourselves a ME setup. I probably could have already done that, but I've just been a little bit busy, so I never really dug my teeth too deep into that. So that's gonna have to wait at least for a little while. Okay, cool. So now what? Let's go ahead and grab ourselves. Well, we have the hydrochloric acid already, so I don't think we're gonna need more of that. So we just need a free chemical reactor, which we have 2 of. And then we need to grab ourselves the glycerol from here. Cool. So there's the glycerol. I do have all those generators set up into the diesel now. I don't know if I said that, but they are getting the diesel finally. So that's nice. Okay, so let's head down here to one of the chemical reactors. We're gonna need a integrated circuit as well. Is there one in here already? Is there one I could steal? Yeah, I'm stealing this one. Okay, so epichlorohydrin. We need configuration 2. Configuration 2. Let's use this one because then we can easily void stuff we don't need. Okay, can I just place this in here? No, so I have to pipe it in, which is mildly annoying. Did I get rid of all my pipes? Why did I do that? We're gonna need a fluid filter as well. I don't know why I did that. Let's go ahead and grab our fluid trash can over here. Okay, so we're gonna wanna have the fluid trash can here. I'm gonna set this up to inserts. That's actually fine. It's not gonna be making hydrogen. Extract, always on. Is this whitelist? Yeah, okay, so it shouldn't do that. It should just sit here in the buffer. Hydrochloric acid can go in, and the glycerol can pipe in from the top here. Extract always on. There we go. So now we're getting the glycerol, and then we just got to turn this configuration or this integrated circuit to 2. And there we go. We should begin to see ourselves get our first bit of epichlorohydrin. Super, super cool. Nice. We can kind of just let that go. Once it gets to 64, actually, I mean, it's not a big deal. I can just let this thing go. We have so many buckets of it. I know I have an extra bucket of hydrochloric acid around somewhere, and I know we're gonna need a lot of epoxy resin, but hopefully we can process it down and it not be too bad. So let's see how this works. Cool, so the water goes out and the epichlorohydrin stays in. So there we go, we're producing epichlorohydrin there. Very, very nice. So let's check this out. Nitrogen dioxide, got it. Glycerol, got it. Phenol, this is be the setup for the bisphenol A. I'm gonna leave this one, it's an optional setup. We do have the hydrochloric acid, so it's phenol and acetone that are gonna be the problems for us, but we don't really need that for this setup. Epichlorohydrin we have in our buffer, and the naphtha we need to go grab. So let's go ahead and grab the naphtha. So we need to clear out one of these. You just use the steel drum. Go get ourselves the naphtha. I need to probably clear this out anyway. Actually running low on oil. It's not a big deal then, because I have like 9,000 buckets of it in one of my super tanks. Okay, so let's grab ourselves some naphtha. Okay, so there we go. We got 64 naphtha now. So I don't know how much of the epoxy resin we'll be able to create. I think if I do the math, it's whatever 64 times 288 is. And we're gonna, well, actually no, the naphtha needs 3 times the amount, but that's what it's gonna be. So we're gonna need, 198 or whatever it is of the naphtha to create ourselves the 64 times 288. Okay, so we're gonna need this. We'll use this chemical reactor. So naphtha, and then we'll put the nitrogen dioxide, and then the last thing we need is the epichlorohydrin. Just go ahead and grab that, put that in here, and slowly but surely we will create ourselves our epoxy resin. So this recipe isn't too bad, thankfully, because we got a lot of the stuff already done, so it's super nice. We're just creating ourselves some slow epoxy resin. It looks like Okay, let's read this. There are two schools of thought for creating epoxy. Raw naphtha and bisphenol A. The ratio from the naphtha route is awful, but it is easier to set up. That is true. That's the route we're doing. The BPA route is more complex, but generally worth it as it makes much more epoxy. You'll be using epoxy for circuit boards until LUV, so you want to create a robust automation for epoxy. Yeah, that's very funny. No, I'm not passiving all the fluids. A good amount of them, actually, but not all of them. I probably should spend some time and do that, but not a big deal yet. Not a big deal yet. So, yeah, it's basically saying that you're going to want to use the BPA setup at some point, which I already expected that to be a thing. So, yeah. But I don't know if I collect this, if it will actually accept it as completing that quest. I guess we should just try it, no? Let's put it in one of these big boys. I guess I need to create a bucket of it. Oh, good. I probably should get a super tank for it, to be honest with you. Let's see. Put it in an Indrio fluid tank to do it, but I really don't want to do that. How much do these take? Portable fluid tanks, we use empty and fill fluid containers. I'm going to make one of those just because I'm curious. And I think we have everything we need to do it. Just so I know for sure. Okay, so we need iron alloy. And you can use iron, you can use regular iron. Okay, so now we have a Indrio fluid tank. Can I put this stuff in here? Oh, it actually worked. How many does it take? It only takes 16 buckets. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. It looks pretty sick. I guess now we just need a bucket of it to complete this quest. Did that do it? Do I have to submit it? Is there a requirement that I need? Epoxy resin bucket. It's saying I have to turn it in. Okay, well this is going to be annoying. What's going on here? Maybe I need to throw it on the ground. Pick it up. Huh. Okay, well I'm not sure why that's not working. Okay, so I need to just complete this optional step, I believe. Okay, well, we'll work on this. It's not a big deal. There we go. I do like how you can just bucket straight from it. That is nice. Cool. Alrighty. Then from there, we take the epoxy resin and we can fluid solidify it in any voltage right now to get ourselves the plates. So let's grab this tank, which is going to take... Actually, can I do this? I can. Nice. And we're going to want to put it in the fluid solidifier. Oh, good. There's polyethylene in here. We're going to avoid that. I don't care. 16 millibuckets. All right, and then we can put this in here and make ourselves some sheets. Very nice. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The big thing is just going to be making naphtha, which we have the setup for. So it's not too bad. Yeah, it looks like naphtha's our guy right now. It's struggling. We got a good amount of epoxy resin. I'm just going to keep making these into plates. I don't know. It might be a good idea to make... Might be a good idea to make these thin epoxy resin sheets. Are they useful for anything? They're actually not, which is interesting. Yeah, they're really not useful, so maybe I don't. Okay, well, maybe these ones are useful for something else. Nope, not sure. Not sure. So it's not a big deal then, I guess. Okay. Put some more epoxy resin in there. Take these sheets out, complete that quest. And we need the epoxy circuit boards. This is going to help us get into the next tiers of circuits. But I think what I need to do is kind of pivot a little bit, spend some time crafting up some more Canthal, mixing up some more Canthal, just some general, just need more stuff. We also started processing the aluminum. You saw when I made the macerator to get the bauxite. So we could start working down the chemical reactor to get some titanium, because I believe these need hot titanium as well. Yeah, so these require that as well, because these are going to require the Canthal coil upgrades to start making ourselves the first titanium, which is going to be needed in the rocket assembly, I assume. Yep, it is. So we're going to need to start doing some chemistry there to get some titanium. So that's definitely something we're going to want to work on in the next episode. I don't think the circuits are super necessary yet, so that might probably be one of the last things we do, just because I feel like we did so much circuit crafting in the last episode. We're also going to need to start working on getting some ammonia, methanol, hypochlorous acid to get ourselves some of the rocket fuel. So that's going to be something we need to do some research in. I've never done anything with rocket fuel before, so that's going to be completely new to me. It may require some expanding of our base as well, because a lot of the stuff seems like it's going to take a little bit more space to do. Might need to make ourselves that HV room already. We haven't even really built out the MV room at all, but that's okay. That's okay. There's also some cool stuff over here that I want to get into. With the handy bag, I wanted to try that out, so I might do that as well. And then we can start getting into the space stuff, lastly, to finish this quest line. But I think that's kind of where I want to end it here today. Some things took a little bit longer than I was expecting, which made the episode take longer to get out to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. And stop it here so I can start working on the next one. So that's good. Make sure we don't die by the Canthal. So I'm going to just go ahead and stop it here. Good progress today. Got ourselves into HV, made our first HV machines. Got ourselves the vacuum freezer to start making ourselves some Canthal. We started working on making some epoxy resin to make our next tier again of circuits. So super, super cool progress today. I think in the next episode, it'll be another good one just like this one. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, please hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel or the series at all, go ahead and subscribe and hang out with us and watch me progress through this pack. It's been a journey so far. It's been definitely a journey so far, no pun intended. But that's all I've got for you guys. It's been Eagle. Peace.